Good morning, Diane. It's lovely to see you here today, and thank you for coming and helping me with this project that I'm about to start with the children in my class. So just to give you a brief introduction about what we're hoping to do, Diane, I've been given the task this year to work with my class. So I've got a class of 24 children who are between 3 and 5 years old, and our task is to develop an area around our school and turn it into a sensory garden, but it has to be based on the children's ideas, and we've got a couple of months in which to turn this project around.
That's absolutely fabulous, Kate.
So I thought it might be interesting as the Understanding the World Curriculum Coordinator to see if we can highlight how this project meets the Sustainable Development Goals, because we are an eco school and we're always providing children with the opportunities to learn about the world around them. But it would be great for children to gain first-hand experience and knowledge of how they themselves can become more sustainable. So as they contribute to the development of this sensory garden, they can think of real-world issues and how to protect the wildlife and support this natural environment.
So Diane, I'd be really grateful to hear your thoughts and to work alongside you on this project, because the Sustainable Development Goals are something I've not used before, and it'd be great for you to share your knowledge and support us as we develop this project further.
That sounds absolutely fabulous, Kate. It sounds as though that your project is going to link and align with the 3 pillars of sustainability, which are economic, environmental and social cultural sustainability. So it would be really valuable for everybody listening if during the process we keep demonstrating how this process not only hits the targets for early literacy and early numeracy, but also aligns with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals.
We already know the space that we are developing. It's a small grassed area that's in the front of our school building, and currently it's not used for anything, and it's become quite a bit of a dumping ground. Within this space we've got 2 large trees, and we've got some hedging that offers screening and security from the streets and the wider community. So it will be a nice space for the children to spend some time. So our first job, I think, is to go out there as a class and explore the area and see what the space has to offer for us as humans, and also what the space has to offer any wildlife that might already live there, Diane. As it's a space that we don't normally use, we don't know what's there already. And I think it's important that the children realise and think critically about real world issues.
So why do you think that is important, Kate? Because after all, they're very young. Can they think about real world issues?
It's about life on land, I think, Diane, and ensuring that we teach children about the importance of protecting natural habitats and ecosystems.
You're looking at it from a post-human perspective, where you are helping children to become aware of others. And normally in the early years foundation stage, we think about it from a human-centric perspective. Are we taking turns? Are we showing courtesy? Are we showing empathy towards our peers? But what you're saying in this project is you're helping children to start to become aware of others and otherness with a non-human perspective. That sounds really interesting.
Well, I've got a short video, Diane, which shows the children exploring the space, and it shows obviously how interested they were with the life that they found. So if we play the video, and then we can talk about what the children's ideas and how this project will grow and our next steps.
That sounds really good. So they're going to be considering how actions change the current land and the ecosystem. That sounds really interesting.
I see slugs. Yeah. And I can get something.
What can you see,
Look,
Diane?
a bug.
A bug? What type of bug is it?
Let me touch.
What is it?
Let me take it.
You want to touch it, but you have to be very gentle. We don't want to hurt it. It's a worm, Yusra.
I'm scared of the
A worm.
It's not slugs in the worm.
Lily, what have you found?
I don't want to swim. I don't want to swim.
What is it, Lily?
I don't know what it is. I can't remember which.
It's called a slug. You found a slug.
Sluggy.
A slug and lots of worms that live in this garden.
What's in here? Come on. Is it wiggling?
What have we found?
Anything wiggling? Is there lots of worms?
So what's our idea for this patch? What do we think we're going to make?
What do you think?
A worm house.
Cool.
Where's the worm?
Wow, it is. Yeah, wow, cool. Well done. Because it's winter, there's less nutrients available to them. They're a little bit pale, but in the summer when you dig them up, they'll be nice and red. So you'll see the difference. There's lots and lots of worms. Do you know what? The robin comes along. Have you seen him? He's got a red belly. Have you seen him? A little bird. And he comes along and he loves eating worms. When we dig them all up, we'll have to cover it over because he'll be eating them because he eats them for his dinner. So she brings it back, keep it low to the ground. Oh wow, that is a big one. Let's see.
Whoa, that is.
Oh wow, let's see. Should we break it open, see if we can get him? Oh wow. Nice example of a little wiggle of that. Oh,
I found another worm.
oh, that's another little one, isn't it? Well done, guys. I'm
I found
impressed.
another worm. I'm gonna
Yeah.
find lots of worms.
Look, I'm going to put him back, okay? Just in case our friend the robin finds it.
What are your thoughts, Diane, after watching the video?
My thoughts were how fabulous it was in the sense that it sort of demonstrated from a sustainability perspective, but it also sort of from an early literacy and early numeracy perspective. It was really important that children used the correct terminology and that Tom was providing them with his wealth of knowledge about the worms and about the robin that was coming into the garden. And I think it's really important from an early literacy perspective that we always use the right terminology. And it's also nothing wrong with saying, I don't know, let's go and find out together, because that's what co-researching and collaboration is about in early childhood. But it wasn't just early literacy we were looking at. There was evidence through the physical development with the children using the real tools. The early numeracy was there with weight and balance. And it's very important that we always think holistically in any project. It was also wonderful to see how SDG 4, which is about quality education, which highlights the importance of pre-primary and early literacy and early numeracy, as well as SDG 3, which is about health and good health and well-being, because you can't have good education without good health and well-being. Children need to feel involved. And also Tom, being part of the process, was demonstrating through SDG 8 about his trade and his skills and his knowledge. So tell me a little bit, Kate, about Tom, because he's obviously pivotal in this project.
Tom is our site manager, and it's just really beneficial to spend that time working in collaboration with Tom. We've done several projects together. We created our on-site allotment together, and it's the knowledge that Tom brings to the children, knowledge about the world, knowledge about the tools that we're using, and it's just that deeper learning experience that he offers for the children. I didn't know whether maybe it might fit into SDG 11, Diane, in terms of inclusivity. And
Yes, definitely, because SDG 11 is all about sustainable cities and communities. And I was about to say that not everybody is as lucky as you to have somebody like Tom, and therefore SDG 11 would suggest that if you went out into the community and brought people in from beyond your gate and say, how can we involve people intergenerationally, volunteers from the community who might be really willing to give some time to a project with early childhood. What do you think, Kate? Do you think that's possible?
I think it's possible, and it'd be great to hear if anyone else has had any experience of bringing people in from the community, maybe anyone who we could contact who would be interested in coming to help us, Diane.
Yes, definitely, because obviously it's really important that we do involve the community with early childhood so that children are able to see and become part of the socio-cultural aspects of their community. They learn about their environment through people's wealth of knowledge, and they learn about economic sustainability through the trade and the skills and real-world experiences.
In our local community, we have a nature garden It's Everton Park Nature Garden. There's a team of community members there called Friends of Everton. So maybe that's something we can do, Diane, plan a trip, take the children to the nature garden and maybe get some ideas that we can bring back, because without being in a nature garden themselves and visiting one, how will they know what we need to create? So it might be a good field trip for children to gather ideas, learn about the community and learn about an industry and what's happening in our local community.
That sounds really interesting, Kate. I would love actually to go and visit Everton Nature Garden. It sounds like a fabulous place to become part of, and maybe some of the listeners, if you aren't aware of it, they might like to plan a little trip to go and find out about what is hidden behind the walls at Everton that you don't know about. But also it'd be lovely to follow up on the project exploration that you were doing with Tom. And I heard, I think, a little girl called Harper mentioning something about a possible worm house or worm garden. So it would be really interesting to hear in our next chat about what happened next.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kate.
Thank you for coming in, Diane.